Hi everyone, this is CricketSong with Inner Wisdom, and you're watching another episode of Practical Witchcraft. This episode, we are going to be casting a spell to banish nightmares. Okay, so we are casting a spell for the intention of banishing nightmares. So the reason why I wrote this spell and originally cast this spell was because my daughter at the time, it was a few years ago, was having constant, really negative dreams, very disturbing dreams, nightmares. And after cleansing her room and doing a cleansing on her, she needed something to help her sleep through the night and get rid of the nightmares that she was having. So I cast this spell. So this particular spell, I did the original spell myself, and then I wrote something for her to recite each night, sort of to activate the spell for her and to empower her to basically like take over the energy of the spell and to continue the momentum of the spell so she could build this energy around her before she went to sleep, to feel empowered and to really have control over her mind and her environment as she slept. So, what you're going to need if you want to do this spell. The spell is basically, we're going to enchant a stone, and we are going to use the incense. We're going to be like sort of crafting an incense as we go and enchanting a stone. So the stone that I ended up purchasing for my daughter for this purpose, I'm not actually sure what stone this is, but it says dream on it. So this is the stone I enchant, and she places it under her pillow or in her pillowcase at night, or it actually stays there, but this is the stone that we enchant, and it acts, like I said, sort of a trigger. And then I will show you at the end the what I give her, and I'll show you at the end of the spell, okay, that she recites every night. But this is what we're going to be enchanting originally to begin, to sort of start the energy of the spell. Let me clean off the altar of the the feathers, except that one particular feather that I keep. And we are going to begin by lighting the candles. Now again, before you cast the spell, you want to get yourself in a meditative state. But for the purpose of this, I am not going to show you that because it could take a while, but I would be in a meditative state, and then I'm going to light my candles. The red one is the primordial energies of the divine feminine or the goddess or blood. The black one is for the primordial masculine or flesh. And the third one is stone. Bone. Or maiden mother crone or masculine feminine spirit. But that's what I work with. I am then going to light a charcoal disc because the main part of this spell is the incense and enchanting the, I would call it an amulet because it is a stone. Even though it's been carved, it's actually a stone. It's been polished, it's been tumbled, it's been polished and carved. Again, I'm not sure what type of stone it is. It may even just be a river stone. But it is a natural stone, an actual stone. I got it at a metaphysical shop, like I said, years ago. If you don't have a stone like that, you could use an amethyst, would be good for this purpose as well. And I'm going to put the charcoal disc in my cauldron, and I'm going to allow that to ignite. And while I allow that to happen, I'm going to be pulling out the incense, the herbs that we're going to use for the incense for the spell. So I'm going to use St. John's wort. St. John's wort. It's chamomile. I'm going to use rosemary. I'm going to use mugwort. Mugwort, rosemary, St. John's wort, parsley, and vervain. So St. John's wort, mugwort, vervain, rosemary, and parsley. Those are the herbs I'm going to be using. So there's 5. Okay. I have my stone. The stone has been cleansed and it's been consecrated. Like I said, this stone is still already being used. I am just showing you this as a demonstration of the spell of what you would do. But I'm not going to show you the cleansing. You want to cleanse it. You may even want to purify it, and then you want to consecrate it. And I would consecrate it for the use of, it's going to hold the energies of a amulet, and then now I am enchanting it, so it's prepared to be enchanted. I would call forth my spirit guides, my allies, my beloved dead, the ancestors, and the mighty ones. If I have a god or goddess that I work with, I would call them forward as well. And then I would begin the spell. Now, the incantation that I wrote is basically the recipe for the working, the incense. So I'm going to begin. I'm in a meditative state, and I begin. A handful of St. John's wort to bring in the joy. A large heap of mugwort, her dreams to employ. The herb of vervain will help her to sleep. This parsley I use her psyche to sweep. A pinch of rosemary to strengthen her mind. All nightmares are banished and are redefined. Now, as I'm doing this, I'm just mixing the incense. From my perspective, it's in a clockwise direction. I'm going to use this stick. And I'm going to move it in a clockwise direction just to get them to mix and to blend. And as this burns, I'm going to put my pentacle back on. And I'm going to take the stone, and as I did when I showed you how to enchant an amulet or talisman, I'm not using an oil on this because I don't feel called to, and it's going to stay in her her pillow, and I don't want her to, she has a sensitivity to a lot of smell, so I don't want to put oil on it so that it's sensitive, so that, you know, she doesn't like it. Because it makes her sneeze. She has a very sensitive skin, very sensitive sense of smell. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it between my palms and enchant it with the purpose of banishing nightmares and redefining them. So what I mean by that is that it pushes nightmares away, and those dreams that maybe she needs to have because they are her working through something she encountered during the day, I want them to be redefined in a positive way. So I want sort of to transmute the energy of a scary dream, redefine it so that she is empowered. That's the whole purpose here, is to have her feel empowered and protected, and to still have her work through anything she encountered during the day, but in a more redefined, empowering way. So I'm going to enchant this. And I'm going to chant, banish, redefine, banish, redefine, banish, redefine, banish, redefine, banish, redefine, banish, redefine, banish, redefine. Once I feel that it's built up, I release that energy into the talisman or amulet, whatever you're using. And I'm not going to go through the visualization. If you want to see how to enchant one of those, go to the other videos. I'm going to place it on the pentacle. And as I do all my other things, if I'm enchanting or imbuing, I'm going to leave it here and allow my team of ancestors, beloved dead, mighty dead, spirit guides, spirit allies, gods and goddesses, work with this, work on this, make sure that it's prepared. And then I will come back after the time is done that I feel that it is complete, and we'll continue. So time has lapsed and I feel that it's imbued, and so then I'm going to take this and I'm going to share with you what I've written. So what I've done is I've written a small spell, a short spell, that my daughter can recite every night. This, as I said, this is going to go in her pillowcase or under her pillow, and she's going to recite this spell. Now what I've done is I've printed it out in a document. I put a pentacle which she recognizes as a protection. And I've printed out the spell for her to say each night. And what it says is, God and Goddess, watch me sleep in your arms without a peep. If I should awake in the night, protect me with your magic might. For the goodwill of all, this is my plea. As I will, so mote it be. When I wrote this, we were definitely a practicing Wiccan family, but I would probably rephrase it differently now. But it's a spell that she's been using for many years, and it's built up that momentum. And she says it every night before she goes to bed, and it empowers her. So I printed it out. When I printed it out, I anointed the corners with oil, and I put it in that frame, and that hangs above her bed. So that is the spell that I've done and I've used for my young daughter to banish nightmares and redefine them to empower her. So after I would type that out and print it out while this would be imbued by the ancestors. I would still be in my sacred space here because my desk is just a few feet away. I would do that while this was being worked upon by my ancestors, beloved dead and mighty ones. When everything is complete, I would extinguish the candles and I would thank my beloved dead and mighty ones and my spiritual entities. Make sure my offerings are all set. Okay, that's what I would do. Until next time, I love you. Blessed be.